Good morning, students. This lesson is of class 4 for the subject of General Science, in which revision of chapters 9, 11, and 12 is covered. This lesson is being submitted to you on 22nd of February 2021. Let us first start with the revision of objective questions based on these chapters. So, question number 1 is give one word answers for the following. First part, you have to name the ultimate source of light. There is only one source which is the ultimate source of light. I guess you might have guessed the right answer. Yes, it is the sun. Number 2, the form of energy which helps us to see things around us. We are able to see the things around us because of this form of energy, which is light. Number 3, the objects that do not give light of their own. Students, we have two type of objects. One are luminous that have light of their own, and another are non-luminous that do not give light of their own. The fourth part is you have to tell what is push or pull on an object known as. The push or pull on an object is called force. Then the downward pull of the earth, that is the force of the earth which pulls everything towards its center. It is gravity. The sixth part, the force exerted by the muscles of the body. That is the force which is because of the muscles of our body. That force is the muscular force or our muscular energy. Number 7, the friction that comes into play when the body is sliding. As we know, there are three types of friction. So this friction which comes into play when the body is sliding is the sliding friction. Now, in eighth part, we have to name the surface which have more irregularities. The two types of surfaces are rough and smooth. The rough surface which are having more irregularities is the cause of friction. Number 9th, the process of oiling or greasing the machines. It is lubrication, which is the process of oiling or greasing the machines. In question number 2, you have to write down true or false. So, understand the statement properly and then tell whether the statement is true or false. Number 1, tissue paper is a transparent object. Number 2, rotation of earth on its axis causes the formation of day and night. Number 3, central dark region of the shadow is known as umbra. Fourth part, the push or pull on an object is known as work. Is it work? No, this is force. So this statement will be false. Number 5, force can start or stop the motion. This is the effect of force, that it can either start or stop the motion of an object. Number 6, gravity slows down the motion of a moving vehicle. Is it gravity? No, certainly not. It is friction which slows down the movement of a moving vehicle. Number 7, Tires are inflated properly to reduce friction. Number 8, lubrication helps to increase friction. Just think, is lubrication helps to increase friction or decrease friction? So, write the answer accordingly. In question number 3, we will be doing fill in the blanks. Here, in the first part, you have to write down 2 natural sources of light. Students, we have 2 types of sources of light. One are the natural and the other are the artificial. So, write down here the natural sources of light. Number 2, dash is a natural but non-luminous source of light. That is, it is a natural source which is given to us by nature, but actually it is non-luminous. I hope you have guessed the answer. Yes, it is moon. Moon is a natural but non-luminous source of light. Number 3. The image formed in a mirror is due to reflection or refraction. There are 2 processes. So, the image which is formed in a mirror is due to reflection. Number 4. Friction always acts in the direction dash to that of motion. We know that friction is an opposing force. So, it will act in the direction opposite to that of motion. Interlocking of dash and dash gives rise to friction. Children, every surface have ridges and grooves, and the interlocking of these ridges and grooves is the cause of friction. Number 6, ice and glass surfaces have dash friction. We know that the movement is fast on ice and glass surface. So that means the friction will be less or more. Yes, it will be less friction because the surface is smooth. The 7th part, like poles of magnet dash and unlike poles dash each other. Like poles means north and north pole or south and south pole. What will they do? They will repel each other, that is move away from each other. While the unlike poles, they will attract each other, as we have already done this in our activity. The 8th part is in dash. The force is exerted on a body and the body moves away. Which is the force in which when the force is exerted, the body moves away from you. Is it push or pull? Yes, it is in pushing. The force is exerted and the body moves away. And number 9th is the force exerted by a magnet is known as magnetic force. Question number 4 is match the columns. The number 1 part, bulb and candle are example of artificial sources of light. A dark patch on the ground which we observe is known as shadow. Water and ordinary glass are example of transparent objects. The game of tug of war is an example of force of pull. Number 5, equal force on both the sides is in a balanced force. And the surface having less friction is a smooth surface. In question number 5, there are few questions and you have to write the answers for these questions. In question number 1, it is you have to differentiate between static friction and sliding friction. As we know, static friction is the friction possessed by a body when it is in a state of rest, and sliding when a body is sliding over another body. So you have to write down the difference between them. In question number 2, we know there are two types of forces. And here you have to write down what are unbalanced forces. In question number 3, we have to write down the difference between transparent and opaque objects. Question number 4, write any 3 features of light. We have done around 6 to 7 features of light. So here mention only 3 features of light. I hope you all remember. And in question number 5, we have to write any 3 effects of force. In question number 6, you have to write down the particular reason for this point. A part, a ball rolls easily on glass but slowly on carpet. Please remember the surface of glass and the surface of carpet, which is the main reason for this. The B part, it is easy to roll than to slide. We have already covered these questions, so write down the answers accordingly. In question number 7, you have to write any 2 ways to reduce friction. Any 2 ways. We have done 4 to 5 ways, so please write any 2 ways to reduce friction. So students, do this revision after preparing the topics from your assignment.